This is to commemorate 50th year of my forestry research, education and extension. Since I started my career as a research student from this building called Forest Research Institute of world fame, I started my career joining this institute way back in 1973 on 13th February, and you right hand side that you see is a stretch of Ficus benjamina, and this whole stretch, and just in the background is Casfords, SFS College, and this is just throughout the length of this, and they are also covered in say under satellite imageries also. They all come, they're almost say about 75 years old, and the whole state of New Forest came into being in 1925, and the building of fame is because of the architecture. And here you can see the architecture with the tomb from Arabic architecture, and then the pillars from European, or you can say French or Victorian times. The roof, that's a chajja, what we call, that is from the Indian architecture, whereas the windows and all, they are from the typical of the Roman architecture. Here you can see the building. This came into being by the famous architect, the student of Bloomfield and Captain Lutyens, and the whole area was acquired during 1906, and this was completed around 1925, and that was the time when the whole area under the New Forest environment, which covered as many as 24 villages, they were vacated and then ultimately developed into the vast of the landscape. In recent times, there has been the forest memorial that you can see here in the background, just to commemorate those who sacrificed with their contribution to the cause of forestry research, education and extension, and also the awareness. And there you will find one of the most interesting things that I would like to tell you. During the Second World War, the whole foreground that you see here, it was covered with wheat. Wheat was the crop that was done, and the whole building was converted into hospital. And for the nurses of the hospital, they're just behind the building that you can see of that IFS Academy or Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy. Very behind this is now hostel for the girls, whereas you can see in this picture, and there was a sister quarters when I got transferred back in 1987 after working for 10 years in Northeast India. I was given one, you can see, the quarter in this, and that was a 5 by 1 sister quarter, and that was meant only during the Second World War for the nurses to cater those. And this building, was used for those beds for those British Indian, wounded, ailing soldiers. And during 1945, during the winter, there was very heavy snowfall, and whatever you do see in the foreground, they were all covered with heavy snow, and there was a lot of injury caused to the plantation that was raised. Well, in 1925, the whole area, which I believe the 4 square kilometers, the whole area, New Forest, has got as many as 19 or 20 compartments, and behind the building we have got the compartments that I treat them as a bottom that I will deal separate.